Welcome back to Melodic Logic. In this episode, we're going to be listening to Pink Floyd's The Final Cut from the 1983 album The Final Cut, which follows after The Wall. Roger Waters still continues with the same storyline that we saw from The Wall, based upon his father and his own experiences in dealing with a father going off to war and being lost at war. To me, this is a highly underrated album. There's a lot of emotion in it, just like there is in The Wall, but The Wall to me is episodic. Obviously, there was a movie after it. It's just as entertaining, but I feel like The Wall is kind of the true message, or The Final Cut is actually the true message on what we see behind the wall. So let's jump in and get started.
Through the fish-eyed lens of tear-stained eyes, I can barely define the shape of this moment in time.
Okay, I already have chills. I have heard this song before, thousands of times. But it's one of those rare songs, and I know a lot of Pink Floyd albums, their songs all flow together. So if you were to pick a song like this one, or a handful of many other songs, just on its own, it almost sounds like it starts where a song has already started. So I get that we're already flowing into this. But I think that there's a profound beginning to this. I literally just clicked play, and it immediately, for the most part, starts out with a voice. We're on kind of the down note of a piano key. Let me start this over. Yeah, so you can hear at the very beginning, we're already coming in on a down note and the continuation from the previous song. In any case, I love that. I love listening to this in a lot of albums on their own from the beginning to full. Not only Pink Floyd, but a lot of the artists that I've talked about and will continue to talk about is that in order, in my opinion, to have a confounding album, there has to be a story behind it. And you'll find that a lot of artists who create these amazing albums, they're backed by something factual, something they experienced, or a family member, or something very close to them experienced. Creating a story and developing an album behind it without really a heart, to me, it's lacking something in that. In any case, I'll get back to the song. So, I already started it, but let's just go ahead and start it right from the very beginning. And by the way, the lyrics for almost every Pink Floyd song, you can tell that they are so well thought out. Not just the concept of the song itself, but every individual word that's being used. I mean, through the fish-eyed lens of tear-stained eyes. It's not a phrase that you probably would have ever thought of before, but when you think about it, you're like, that makes perfect sense. This is a person who's dealing with emotion. This is a person who's been maybe crying for minutes, hours, days. I mean, you can just tell, and even in the tone of the voice as he leads into this, you can tell that there's heart behind it. Okay, I'll get past the first 5 minutes.
Through the fish-eyed lens of tear-stained eyes, I can barely define the shape of this moment in time.
I promise I'll keep going after this. But you've got such a soft piano in the background, and I don't know how closely, if you've heard the song before, how closely you've listened to it, because the piano resonance is, it sounds like they're in a cathedral, and his voice carries the same. So if you haven't normally listened to this song through headphones, you really get to pick up a lot of those nuances. So we can hear a lot of that echo, or the reverb, just from his voice after each line, carrying in that silence. Okay.
And far from flying high,
great bass line entry.
Blue skies, I'm spiraling down to the hole in the ground where I hide.
Again, if you hadn't paid attention, and I got chill bumps, if you hadn't paid attention to this, or listened to it through headphones before, you hear there's a dog bark in the background. But what's unique about that, and what is very unique about Pink Floyd utilizing sounds from all over, is they actually play a methodical role, a melodic role, and methodical, but a melodic role in the song itself. That dog is barking at every half beat, in between filling the drum beat. I'll go back just 5 seconds for this and see if you can hear it.
Ground where I hide. If you negotiate the minefield in the ride,
That dog.
and beat the dogs and cheat the code, electronic.
And beat the dog, which you can hear in the background. Not a dog being beaten, but you can hear a dog barking.
And if you make it past the shutdowns in the hall, dial the combination.
I have chill bumps again, because he goes up so high with such emotion, and then immediately goes into this overwhelming feeling of emotion. It's almost like somebody who's been crying, just belting out cries, and then finally taking a breath to think about what they're feeling. I'll go back just 5 seconds for that.
Dial the combination.
It's right on point.
Open the priest hole. And if I'm in, I'll tell you.
You can hear the gunshot and the people yelling.
There's a kid who had a big hallucination, making love to girls in magazines.
Just the way that this has built up, and even such a short span. You know, we go from the part of where he's yelling, and then immediately again going back inward and silently kind of talking and singing this out. And then it ramps back up so well and so seamlessly that it's melodically it's perfect. Pink Floyd has been really good at doing that. Some of the other songs that we'll take a look at, like Echoes, for example, same thing, very long song, but it is so fluid. And that's what's always impressed me, is that they have taken the time. You got to think this is done in 1983. The digital era didn't exist. And being able to splice and clip all of these tracks and information together was a physical process. It wasn't just about, opening up your DAW and slightly moving this, moving your track or moving a sound over by a millisecond. It's an extremely exhausting process, and they do it for every album. In any case, okay. But I just love the way that this is built up.
He wonders if you're sleeping with your newfound faith.
Obviously, there's a feeling of loss.
Will anybody love you? Or is it just a crazy dream?
I love how that all builds together with the ahs. There's again, the way that this is so methodically layered. You hear that dun 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 dun, in between each of the main rhythms. Just listen. I'll go back 10 seconds. They do the chords backwards.
Show you my dark side. Will you still hold me tonight?
There's the clock ticking in the left ear.
Open my heart to you.
It just feels like he's
weak side.
opening his heart and showing his weak side.
What would you do? Would you sell your story to Rolling Stone?
And he goes from being so sentimental, and it's almost like he then is being taken over by this emotional rage of loss of this loved one, of this woman. And, the music really accompanies that feeling, and his voice and projection does that as well. It's, again, so fluid.
Would you take the children away and leave me alone and smile in reassurance as you whisper down the phone? Would you send me packing?
Or yell it.
Or would you take me home?
Just that the amount of emotion in that is compelling. Then you have David Gilmour. Okay, I promise we'll make it through this, and I won't talk a lot about David Gilmour, but the amount of emotion that is put into every chord and every note that he strikes is such an accompaniment to the music and the feeling that you get from this song. I mean, he's completely wrapping it into the emotions that were coming out of his soul and his voice as Roger Waters is singing it. David Gilmour, in this particular instance, not singing in this song, really accompanies that feeling. And every note that David Gilmour will hit, you can just tell there's emotion in it. I'll get into that. I'll get into that later. Not in this episode, but I'll probably have a dedicated episode just for David Gilmour's emotional capability from the guitar. Okay. And the duel. Sounds like someone screaming or crying. And you can just feel he's bearing his naked feelings. Yep, see what's behind the curtain. What?
I never had the nerve to make the final cut.
The telephone ringing. All right, we know that rolls into Not Now John, which is another story on its own, but I mean, just listening to this song and understanding the story behind it makes it so compelling. Because when you think about situations in your life, emotional ones, sympathetic ones, or sad ones, or even happy ones, there's a feeling that goes along with that, right? And I think that's one of the reasons that we're capable of storing those memories for decades. And when we listen to music, those same feelings can be triggered. And I think that's why music has lasted for so long that it has, why it's considered a universal language, because it's about emotions. If I couldn't speak the words to you that I wanted to, I could at least through my actions, through my facial expressions, be able to express what emotions I'm feeling, and you to be able to understand that and have some sort of communication with me in regards to that. So when we think about it from a music perspective, the amount of information that has to go into great music isn't just about the lyrics. You can have compelling lyrics and not have music that backs it up. Or you can have wonderful music. That's the word I can't think of. Transcending music, but not have words that go along with it or words that match it properly. And they can become completely lost. And I think because of the emotional struggle that Roger Waters had with his father, that it has obviously been extremely beneficial to Pink Floyd's benefit. You take a look at The Wall, you take a look at Animals, you take a look at The Final Cut. A lot of that and all of that was derived from this experience and these feelings that Roger Waters had. And then you take a look at prior albums like The Dark Side of the Moon. You take a look at Shine On You Crazy Diamond. A lot of those stories within those albums are about Syd Barrett. Again, an emotional feeling, personal feelings that were impacted. So I picked The Final Cut, the song specifically, for this episode because it's a fairly short song. It's not episodic in their catalog of number one hits. But I think it's very important to understand that it is an extremely compelling song and album. No, I get it. You might not always want to listen to sad music or sad songs, and Not Now John, which is the next song, is really one of the only upbeat songs in this album. But if you're looking to go on a journey and you're looking to go on and have an emotional experience, like we all should with music, this is a great album to do that with. And I highly recommend it. I could go on talking about Pink Floyd forever. I'll have plenty of episodes and have already about Pink Floyd, but I wanted to again mention this particular song. There's several tracks off of this album I want to discuss, but let me know your thoughts. Had you heard this song before? Did you know that the album The Final Cut even existed? Do you like the album if you had listened to it? Did you like this song if you had never listened to it or have listened to it before? Let me know down in the comments. Are there other Pink Floyd songs that you would like for me to discuss and talk about and kind of go into? So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening. I hope that you found this informational and hopefully enjoyed an emotional experience. Thank you so much for watching Melodic Logic. Take care.